evening and welcome to Biz RoundUp. I'm Tamiru Nimsat and we at Tart Television bring you a collection of business highlights. Let's have a look at the headlines. Central Bank reduces policy interest rates by 50 basis points. IMF warns Sri Lanka of the repercussions of deviating from the program. Recent salary adjustments will be re-evaluated. Central Bank agrees. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe underscored the importance of healthcare advancements, stressing the integration of modern technology to improve medical facilities. He expressed the government's dedication to empowering individuals for societal betterment, with healthcare at the forefront. The President said this speaking at a meeting with the Government Medical Officers Association in Polonnaruwa recently. The President highlighted the need for input for medical officers to shape a new healthcare framework, emphasizing the importance of leadership and government engagement. Addressing GMOA members, President Wickremesinghe traced the historical roots of Sri Lanka's free healthcare system and emphasized the necessity of strategic planning to meet evolving medical needs. He stressed the importance of healthcare amidst an open market economy and questioned the readiness of hospitals to embrace technological innovations like artificial intelligence. The President called for collaborative efforts and pragmatic discussions to enhance healthcare accessibility, devoid of political agendas. The central bank announced that it has resumed cuts by reducing key policy rates by 50 basis points. This decision comes as inflation remains anchored, with the aim to further ease financial conditions and support the expansion of the economy. The announcement was made by the central bank officials at the monetary policy review held at the central bank premises in Colombo on Monday.
This rate cut follows a 4-month hiatus during which the central bank paused any further reductions until government securities yields and lending rates aligned with policy rates. Despite some easing in yields and lending rates, the central bank observed a reversal in yields and slower softening in lending rates in recent weeks. The rate-setting committee emphasized the need for the financial sector to promptly pass on the benefits of monetary easing to accelerate the normalization of market interest rates. With this latest cut, the total drop in key rates amounts to 700 basis points since the central bank began its monetary easing cycle in June last year. Officials highlighted a growth bias in the monetary policy statement, noting that inflation remains within their target range of 4 to 6%. Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe expressed confidence in maintaining inflation at the target level over the next 12 to 18 months, barring any major shocks.
Speaking to journalists, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe said that a committee will be formed in the near future to review the recent salary hikes of the central bank employees according to the directives of the finance minister. He said that the central bank management along with its trade unions will make their case to justify the actions once summoned by the said committee.
This salary revision was done in accordance with the existing laws that has been done for several years since 1950 by the central bank boards. Independently, salaries and wages of these central bank employees were determined by the boards, successive boards. There's nothing wrong and there's nothing illegal. That I want to make it very clear. In the same way. And second one, what has happened since the last increase, there was a discussion at the parliament. What has given by the new act, we are more accountable to the parliament. So with that accountability provision, we have requested parliament to, and the accountability we have reported it. Then parliament has come out with some recommendations because of the accountability that comes with the responsibility as well. That's why we have to adhere to what has been recommended by the parliament. Where it clearly says, appoint a committee to review this, and then after the appointment of this committee, within 4 weeks, they have to submit a report back to the parliament, to the Minister of Finance. That process will take place. So what will happen under the process, there will be independent committee appointed by the minister. I think this will happen soon. After that, 4 weeks time, they will submit. Then we can see the outcome of that. That committee will make a decision. That's why there will be opportunities. I hope that for all the trade unions, the management will make our representations, how we have done this in the past, how we have done this time, all the basis and justification. On that basis, committee will make a recommendation.
Japanese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Mitsukoshi Hideaki, expressed Japan's solidarity with Sri Lanka's current program aimed at rebuilding its economy. The ambassador drew parallels between Japan's historical journey and Sri Lanka's current economic challenges. He said this speaking at a panel discussion on economic development and modernization with lessons from Japan, organized by the geopolitical cartographer in Colombo last week. Ambassador Mizukoshi shared insights into Japan's historical challenges and its journey towards rapid development. He emphasized the enduring close relationship between Japan and Sri Lanka, highlighting ongoing efforts to strengthen bilateral ties. The panel discussion, moderated by Dr. Ganeshan Vignaraj, delved into economic development strategies with lessons from Japan. He also highlighted the potential for future investment opportunities in Japan to facilitate Sri Lanka's economic growth. The discussion was chaired by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Notable figures including former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya, members of Parliament Vajra Abeyewardena and Kavinda Vijayewardena, and Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe were present at the event. Stay tuned. We will return after the short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena began his visit to China by paying homage to the martyred war heroes at the Monument to the People's Heroes in Beijing recently. Following this solemn ceremony, he received a guard of honor from the Chinese military, marking the commencement of bilateral discussions.
In a high-level discussion, the Prime Ministers emphasized the importance of strengthening cooperation across various sectors, including social, cultural, educational, agricultural and economic domains. The highlight of the day was the signing of 9 new agreements between China and Sri Lanka, paving the way for enhanced collaboration and mutual development. Representing Sri Lanka, Secretary to the Prime Minister Anura Dissanayake inked the agreements, while secretaries from 9 ministries of China signed on behalf of their country. Notable figures present at the event included ministers from the People's Republic of China, Sri Lankan State Minister Shehan Semasinghe and Ashoka Priyantha, and Member of Parliament Yadamini Gunawardena.
Chinese Prime Minister Li Qiang has reaffirmed China's unwavering support for Sri Lanka's debt restructuring process and economic development efforts. The Chinese Prime Minister said this during a high-level bilateral talk held with Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena in Beijing recently.
Prime Minister Lee praised Sri Lanka's remarkable economic progress despite facing challenges in the past. He expressed gratitude to Prime Minister Gunawardena for his efforts in strengthening the friendship between the two countries. Prime Minister Lee also announced China's commitment to assist in the development of key infrastructure projects in Sri Lanka, including Katunayake International Airport, Hambantota Port and the Colombo Port City. In response, Prime Minister Gunawardena expressed his appreciation for China's steadfast support for Sri Lanka's independence, territorial integrity and sovereignty. He acknowledged China's assistance during times of international political challenges and economic hardships.
The International Monetary Fund said it is witnessing the beginning of a virtuous cycle in Sri Lanka, which must be sustained rather than reverting to a vicious cycle as the country is on a knife-edge path. The frank assessment was shared by IMF's Senior Mission Chief for Sri Lanka, Peter Brewer, at the media briefing following the conclusion of the second review in Colombo recently.
With respect to the elections, yes, we heard many different proposals. For us, what is absolutely key is that the program objectives are achieved, because with those, Sri Lanka has a chance of emerging from the crisis. The path is a knife-edge path. We have to remember that. So yes, we acknowledge in our press report the green shoots that we see for the economy, and that's the beginning of a virtuous cycle, and we have to keep it there. It is knife-edge and could easily go back to a vicious cycle, and that's what we want to prevent. So we are willing to listen to alternative suggestions of how the program objectives can be reached. And these must be realistic and achievable within the time frame of the program. Let me just assure you that the program is the result of robust discussions that we had in the summer of 2022. And since then, at the periodic reviews, where we look at progress under the program.
Stay tuned. We will return after the short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Plaintiff Hamilton Reserve Bank has filed a request with the New York Southern District Court to extend the stay in its case against the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. HRB is countering Sri Lanka's motion for a 5-month stay and is urging the court to extend the stay until the end of April 2024 with conditions. The plaintiff is demanding timely and specific information about Sri Lanka's restructuring proposal, citing concerns over the progress of negotiations. In its memorandum of law, HRB argues that a further 5-month stay until July 2024 is unnecessary, citing precedent and the need to protect bondholders' rights. The bank highlights Peru's restructuring process, which lasted 7 years, to underscore the importance of timely resolution. The combined effect of the prior 4-month stay and Sri Lanka's current request would result in a 9-month stay, longer than any other in this circuit. Sri Lanka has received support from the Paris Club members and the US for its request for extension amidst its ongoing debt crisis. Justice, Prison Affairs and Constitutional Reforms Minister Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa assured that the election amendment bills currently before Parliament are not expected to lead to any delays in upcoming elections. The minister affirmed that the proposed amendments aim to enhance public participation and ensure a fair and inclusive electoral system. The minister said this addressing the media at the Presidential Media Centre recently. Minister Rajapaksa highlighting the significance of informed public discourse on proposed laws. The minister outlined various amendments aimed at addressing societal issues including sexual violence and corruption. Under the proposed amendments, the definition of rape would be expanded to encompass all genders, ensuring legal protection for all victims of sexual violence. Minister Rajapaksa underscored the government's commitment to combating corruption with recent legal changes introducing harsh penalties, including a 10-year prison sentence for minors involved in corrupt practices. The minister acknowledged the historical context of promises made during elections and reiterated the government's dedication to implementing proportional representation and fortifying measures against corruption. In a promising sign for Sri Lanka's tourism sector, tourist arrivals have exceeded expectations in the first 24 days of the year, signalling a robust rebound for the industry. The latest data from the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority reveals that the country welcomed over 160,000 tourists during this period, pushing the year-to-date arrivals to over 580,000. Breaking down the numbers, the first week saw over 47,000 arrivals, followed by over 43,000 in the second week, over 47,000 in the third week, and over 23,000 in the remaining days. This surge in arrivals have been largely influenced by Indian tourists, closely followed by travellers from Russia. Other key markets contributing to the boost include Germany, the United Kingdom, and China. Daily arrivals have also seen a significant improvement, reaching above 6,500 compared to levels last year, reflecting the growing confidence in Sri Lanka as a tourist destination. In tandem with the increase in arrivals, the tourism industry has recorded earnings exceeding $687 million during the first 2 months of the year, showcasing a positive trajectory for the sector. With that, we wind up for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. See you tomorrow with State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Take care and good night.